The Methodist Church has apologised after an investigation it commissioned found nearly 2,000 claims of sexual, physical or emotional abuse. Allegations date back as far as the 1950s, as our special correspondent Lucy Manning reports.
The Methodist Church, a place of prayer, but it's also been one of abuse. Nearly 2,000 abusers or suspected ones identified in the church. Frank, not his real name, was sexually abused at a Methodist school. His abusers are no longer alive. His words have been revoiced to protect his identity.
I just hated every minute of it. If I remember rightly, it always happened on Thursday night. The teacher involved would come into my dormitory in his dressing gown and shout my name, and I would be taken to his room where I was probably there for 15, 20, 25 minutes per time.
For the incoming leader of the Methodist Church, there is shame. They hadn't cared for the most vulnerable.
The Church says sorry to people who have been the survivors of abuse. The Church bitterly regrets that it has not always acted in a way to ensure that that abuse was identified and was dealt with appropriately.
The review looked at the Church from the 1950s until last year and found there are still some concerns about more than 600 people, including 100 ministers. New information has led to 6 current police investigations.
People didn't always listen to survivors, victims of abuse, and if they listened, they didn't always take the right action. Sometimes it was too difficult for them to hear what was being said.
For Frank and other survivors, the Methodist review and apology is welcome.
I have to respect them for being honest. I think for 46 years I thought nobody would believe me, but now they have come out and admitted it did take place. They can't turn the clock back, but I admire them greatly for putting their hands up.
The Methodist Church contacted current and former ministers. Questionnaires were sent out. Members were also asked for information. Now the question is being asked why other religions can't be as open about the scale of abuse in their congregations. For Anne Lawrence, a survivor of abuse in the Catholic Church and now a member of the Methodist Church, there must be more transparency.
We've seen in the Church of England, the Catholic Church, a great reluctance to be open about the findings of their past case reviews. They haven't shared with the public or with their own churches and church members the failings that happened and took place within their institutions. We've also not seen anything coming from Muslim communities, Jewish communities, Sikh communities, Hindu communities.
Survivors still feel other faiths have much to do. Lucy Manning, BBC News.